Hi everybody, I'm Ellen Canner. Welcome back to Miami Beach Botanical Garden. I am thrilled to be here and thank you so much for liking our Fresh from the Garden videos. We got over 1,200 views last time and we're going to give you more. We're going to start today with mushroom mystique. We have some gorgeous exotic mushrooms from Gratitude Garden Farms. We have lion's mane, shiitake, oyster, hen of the woods. And you know, sometimes people tell me if it's good for me, it can't possibly taste good. Mushrooms are the exception. People really geek out on mushrooms. I know I do. There is a whole mycological association, and these people are really intense. And then there's like people who say, what tastes good can't possibly be good for me. Mushrooms are the exception. They are where the culinary and curative meet. Traditional Chinese medicine and Ayurvedic medicine have used mushrooms for healing for years. Joseph Chalmers of Gratitude Garden Farms got into mushrooms for their healing. I just like them because they're delicious. There are over 20,000 wild and cultivated varieties, so you want to make sure what you're getting is good, because the Czech have a saying, all mushrooms are edible once. Sometimes culinarians say you should never wash mushrooms, you should just wipe them. I think if you're going to use them immediately, it's okay to give them a rinse because they are in soil after all. And that's another reason I love Gratitude Garden Farms. They're organic. Mushrooms are very absorbent, so you want them as clean as possible for you. So I have heated just about a tablespoon of minced garlic, and it already smells real good. You see, I don't have a lot of stuff down here. That's because mushrooms are rich. You don't want to bury your riches. A lot of times we chop mushrooms. For these, like hen of the woods that are so tender, you can tear them. And let's see what else we have. Beautiful oyster mushrooms, lion's mane, which has a kind of almost a seafood flavor to it. This is also an extremely healing mushroom. So are shiitakes, so are oyster mushrooms. I'm having trouble deciding what I'm going to use for this recipe, so I'm going to use a little bit of everything. The shiitakes are very meaty, so I'm going to chop those. This recipe is called Bohemian Mushrooms, mostly for the region that I created it from, Czechoslovakia, Romania. These people know their fungi. Can you see how beautiful they are? Mushrooms belong in the clinic, in the kitchen, and these belong in an art gallery. So once I get these in here, you could start to hear them sing. I'm going to turn up the heat. And the terrible thing about video is you cannot smell. They smell so good already. I'm going to show you what they look like. They have just met the burner, so they haven't had a chance to darken yet, but they will. They will shrink and darken, and they're going to be delicious. And I have just prepared a few spices to go with it. We have caraway seed, about a teaspoon. Coriander, about a teaspoon. And I'm going to be a little wild and add some red pepper flakes because that's how I roll. The real thing here are the mushrooms and paprika. It's not a lot, I sort of think of paprika as a magical spice though, like a genie in a bottle. It should be vibrant, it should be bright red. I have a runaway, we're going to put them back. Mushrooms will shrink down and produce some liquid. It's going to be the broth they cook with basically, but I'm going to add some tomatoes. What this really is a plant-based paprikash. Often you'll see chicken or beef or pork, and they're delicious if you like that sort of thing. They're very slow cooking. I'm going to have this for you in 10 minutes. Now, oh, I was going to say now I can hear them, now I can smell them. They're so good, very earthy. This is all as local as it can be. These are Gratitude Garden mushrooms. These are grape tomatoes from one of my local growers, and so is the dill. I mean it when I say you want to be careful about where your mushrooms come from. Among the varieties, there's Death Cap and Destroying Angel. They're that name for a reason. So make sure you source your mushrooms well. And now we're starting to see some good mushroom action. I'm going to add just a touch more of olive oil. And now you are going to see they're starting to steam, they're starting to shrink down. And they're so, so beautiful. I have waited to add my paprika because if you add it to direct heat, it's going to scorch. But when there's a little more liquid, like there is now, in it goes. And you'll see it kind of forms a broth. So easy, so cool. I'm going to add a little more with some lemon juice. The good thing about mushrooms, if you're a little hesitant about using them in the kitchen, they are very, very forgiving. In fact, it is very hard to overcook a mushroom. They have a protein called chitin that makes them fairly sturdy. It also makes them very meaty and delicious. So now can you see how beautiful and burnished this is? And you can serve this over greens. You can serve it with rice. But traditionally, if you want to be Romanian, Hungarian, Czechoslovakian about it, you would serve it over cornmeal porridge, which the Italians call polenta, but which the Hungarians call mamaliga. Romanians call it mamaliga too, means grain of gold. How great is that? And I'm going to add just a little dill from my local grower. I'm just growing some in my backyard now, but it was not quite ready for showtime. Every mushroom has a slightly different cooking time. You can see these are very dense. These are very fragile. So you want to give every mushroom its due. And I think we're coming up on being ready though. I'm going to hold this up for you, give it a little pop of sea salt. And how tough was that? 1, 2, 3. I'm going to spoon this over my polenta, my mamaliga. This is a wonderful kind of winter warm-up. It's gosh, it even looks so pretty. Gonna keep going here. I love mushrooms, and they're great if you're plant-based because they are so meaty. They give you that satisfying chew. Very rich flavored. You guys know what umami is? That is the savory, rich flavor in roasted tomatoes, roasted mushrooms, in meats and cheeses. It's the thing that makes you go, umami. It's the fifth flavor after bitter, sour, salty, sweet. The Japanese call it the good taste. It is really good. And you see my mushrooms have really cooked down. Each of them still has its own shape and flavor. Pretty, pretty. And I'm going to add just a little more snippet of dill to finish. And here we are. Beautiful, delicious, healing. You can't beat it. With lots of gratitude to you from Miami Beach Botanical Garden and to Gratitude Garden Farms for these beautiful mushrooms, which are going to make a wonderful lunch. I can't wait. Till next time, everyone. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.